Hi guys, welcome to our third session for week 3. Today we are going to go through the contact form step by step. Won't take very long. It's a pretty quick demo, and then you will have all 3 demos for this week. The first lecture was the services page. The second lecture was the crew page, and today's lecture will be the contact page. So today we are going to look at the week 3 assessment, and our next lecture will be Sunday, not Wednesday, Sunday at 9 a.m. Let's take a look at our directions for the assessment. You're still going to be working in the same root folder you've been working in since week 1. You will be formatting and creating a functioning web form on the contact page you created in week 1's assessment. The contact page has a similar layout to the crew page. The text bar with the page title is the same. The form is broken into 2 rows and 2 columns with a background image that spans behind all of them. Following the layout from the wireframe, or if you mocked up the contact page, see the copy from the provided document, that's your Word document, and you may add more elements if you wish to play and test with the working. If you wish to play around and test that form, you're welcome to add elements as you see fit. You're going to update the form mail.php document, and then you will be the recipient so you can test the form next week when you publish the site. Using the media queries you created in week 1's assignment, make sure the form will adapt to all 3 screen sizes, desktop, tablet, and mobile, per the wireframe layout. This page should be created with all form fields, text, images, structures, and branding elements. Be sure to test the page in the browser for all 3 screen sizes and make sure that it's responsive. And then you're going to zip your site root folder, the entire site root folder that contains all of your files. And you're going to rename that zip folder DS248 Assessment 3, your first name, your last name. So let's hop over and let's take a look at our wireframe first. This is the wireframe of the contact page. Let's go to the cell phone size. This is what we'll be setting up first. So according to our directions, it's made up of, let's see, what did it tell us? 2 columns and 2 rows. So 2 columns, 2 rows. We have a row here at the top. Here's a row. And then we have this row below it. So we're going to hop into Dreamweaver. And you can look at your crew page just to refresh your memory. Close this header. The dark banner, that has to be done. I have to create that dark banner. And then you're going to create your rows. So we're going to do the dark banner first. We're going to open that contact HTML page. I'm going to collapse the header section and go down to my main tag. And I am going to erase all of this code between the main tags. So it's just left with 2 main tags. And then we are going to do our first div. So we're going to do div class equals, and we need the dark banner. And that should be, according to our copy text, contact us is in an H1. So I'm going to copy it. And let me share my desktop with you guys so you can see all of my menus and stuff. And I'm going to do my H1 tag. And I'm going to paste contact us in the center of it. So there is the banner across the top. And then I'm going to hit my enter key. We're going to do our first row. Actually, we are going to do the background image for that section. So I'm going to do div class equals, how do we want to label that? Contact background is how I'm going to label that. We'll do contact dash background. Like that. Now, this is kind of going to be similar to what you guys did on the index page. It's going to be very similar to the banner, the HP banner. It's going to be very similar to this rule. So we need to put that image, and it's going to be an actual background. So if you look at how that HP banner rule was done here, you can see there's really not anything in it. It's just, there's no image tags or anything. It was just text. Because the div, the CSS, is what set that background image. And that's what we're going to do here. So inside that contact background div, we're going to make another div. And it's going to be class equals row. And we're going to hit our enter key. Now, according to our wireframe, we have 2 rows in this contact form. Now, it's kind of hard to see that on the cell phone view. So if you look at tablet view, you can see those rows very clearly. You've got a row here, and then you've got a row with 2 columns. So we're going to do that first row, first column in that row first. So I'm going to do a div class equals COL. And according to our copy, how can we help you? Goes just above, let me get rid of that. It's just above that paragraph text. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all of that because it belongs in the same row. Copy it, paste it, and according to our copy, that was an H2. Yes. I'm going to make that H2 tag. And highlight how might we help you and cut it and paste it between those tags. Now I need my paragraph tag. Copy all the text that goes in that paragraph. And cut it. And paste it between those 2 tags. Erase that extra white P tag we had there. And all this space. That starts us off. So if we looked at our screen right now at this point, let's drag this to 450. Come on. We see our banner and the how may we help you. We don't have a background image yet. That's okay. Let's go back to code view. After that div tag for your column, after that closing div tag, you put your cursor, hit your enter key, and you're going to do a new div. Class equals row. This is our second row. Hit your enter key. And then you're going to have a div class equals COL and column dash MD dash 1 dash half and column dash is it large 1/4? We have to look at our index page. I can't remember what that class name is. Let's see here. Column large 1/4. So COLLG 1-4. And inside this div tag is where you're going to start your phone number and that sort of information. And Brittany, this lecture will probably last an hour. So this is the phone number and address, your hours, that little column right here that goes beside the contact form. We're going to do it next. So I'm going to paste all that text. Oops. Let's try that again. Copy. Paste. There we are. So we have our phone number, we have our office hours, and so forth. Now you notice your copy text says it's all supposed to be H3. So it's all going to be in H3. I'm going to do H3. I'm going to highlight the phone number, cut it, paste it, hit my enter key, and do another separate H3 for office hours. And paste it. And another H3. After hours emergency. I'm going to put the phone number in there together because they're supposed to be close to one another. I'm going to do it like that. And I'm going to do a nice little line break right there. And then I'm going to erase this. Get rid of all that empty space. There's that div tag for my first column. Put my cursor after the closing div tag for that column. My enter key, and we're going to repeat that. Div class equals column, space column dash MD dash 1-half, and column LG dash 1-4. My enter key. Now it's time for the form. I'm going to file, save all at this point. Make sure everything gets saved that I've done to this point. Dreamweaver makes it pretty easy to create a form. You're going to put your cursor between those div tag, between those opening and closing div tag for your new column. And you're going to go to Insert. And you're going to go down to Form. And you're going to choose Form. Gives you 2 form tags. You're going to hit your enter key and hit refresh. If you do not have your properties box, if it's not at the bottom of your screen, go to Windows and click on properties, and it will open your properties box. You can grab it. It's going to open it up in the center of your screen. Just grab it, bring it down to the end of your screen, the very bottom. You'll see a blue line, and release it right there, and it will anchor it to the very bottom of your code, which makes it easy to find. You're going to give the ID, you're going to give it an ID right down here in your properties. We're just going to call it contact. And we're not going to give it any actions at this point. Now, in between your 2 form tags, we have to do a few things. We have to make, according to our required elements, let's copy those. And we're going to paste them over here in between these form tags. The first thing we have to do is name, and then we need a text field. So once again, I'm going to go to Insert. We're going to go to Form. And we're going to go down and choose Label. And in between those label tags, copy and cut the name and the colon and paste it. And then we have this text field. I'm going to delete that and then go up to Insert, Form, and choose Text. and hit refresh in properties. Click inside my input box tag. Make sure my cursor's right inside of it. And where it says ID, oops, where it says form, I'm going to choose contact. And where it says name, I'm going to type name, lowercase. Placeholder, I'm going to do James Smith. Max length, I'm going to do 30. And you see it changes my code for me. And then after that input tag, I'm going to hit my enter key again. And I need a new label. I'm just going to type it this time. And then copy, cut email, paste it between here. And then I need an input. And this time the name equals email. And the type equals text. And the ID equals email. And the form equals contact. And placeholder. Oops. I misspelled placeholder. Placeholder equals Jane@email.com. So I get everything, placeholder, yes. And then max length, I'm going to do 30 again. And then put my little bracket on it. You know, we've just discovered another tag that doesn't have an end tag to it. Your input tags don't have a closing tag, just like your line break and your image tag. So then we have to do it again. And again, if you don't want to have to type it all out, guys, just go up to insert, go to form, choose label, cut phone, in there, then go to insert again and go to form, go to text, and then put my cursor in that text box, that input tag, and give it a name, phone. The form is contact, placeholder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5 is my placeholder. And max length, I'm going to give it 30. And then hit your enter key. Now we have a checkbox. If we look at our wireframe, back to our cell phone view, your checkbox should look like this: preferred method of contact, email, phone. So once again, it's going to be a label. Insert, form, label. Cut this. Paste it. And then go to insert, form, and I need a checkbox. So I'm going to choose checkbox. And put my cursor in it, hit refresh. And the checkbox needs to say email. We could do a group. Let's do a checkbox group instead of just a checkbox. Let's go to insert, form, and checkbox group. Name is going to be let's see, what did our label say? Preferred contact. So we're just going to call it preferred. And then we have a label. And this, the first one is email. And the second one is phone. And we want to table it. Let's see if that looks right. Except we really want them on the same line instead of after it. So, and no line break. Let's go to Z and try that again. Insert, form, checkbox group, preferred, email, phone, and I'm going to do the line break. Hit OK. And then I'm actually going to take out that line break. So it looks like that. And there's the paragraph. There's that paragraph. Preferred method of contact. And a line break after that. Oh, no, not after it, before it. I'm sorry. Right up here. That's better. And then at the end of that p tag, once you erase this white text, we've done it. So next is comments or questions. Cut it right after that p tag. I'm going to hit my enter key. And I'm going to do another p tag. Or you could do a label. It's entirely up to you. Let's do a label so it'll pick it up when you email your form and you can see for sure what you're looking at. Let's do a label. And I'm going to paste comments or questions and do a line break. And then we need the text area. I'm going to go to Insert, Form, and this time you're going to find the one that says Text Area. Not just text, but text area. I'm going to hit refresh, put my cursor inside that tag. Name is comments. Form is contact. Number of rows, number of columns. Let's do 5 rows and 10 columns. More than 10 columns. What if we do 50 columns? Let's stretch it far enough. Almost. 75, too far. That's better. And I want to make it a little thicker than that, so let's go 20 rows. It's a little too big. Let's go 15 rows. I'm going to leave the max length empty so they can type as much as they want. And I'm not going to do a placeholder on this box. And then I'm going to do a line break here. Hit my enter key. Now we need our, looks like I pasted this contact form more than once. Let's get rid of some of this white text. We need our send button and our reset button. So I'm going to go to Insert, go to Form, and there's the submit button right there. Click it, hit refresh, and in submit, name, submit, form is contact, form method is post, That looks good. And then I'm going to do another button right after it. Insert, form, and this time it's the reset button. My cursor inside of it, refresh, name, reset, form is contact. So now we need to check all of our code. So let's go into code view for a second. And we're going to make sure that every single one of our elements in our form is connected to that contact form. So we've got our input tag here. It needs to say form contact, yes. Form contact, yes. Form contact. Input checkbox, it's not linked. It doesn't say form contact anywhere. So I'm going to go put my cursor in that tag. Go down to the properties menu, hit contact. Then go to the next one. That input box says contact. Oh, no, it doesn't. That one needs to say contact too. And then we have our text area. It is connected to contact. Input, contact, input again, contact. So that is the end of your form. Erase all this empty space here. Hit refresh. So now we have our form. There is our div tag for that form column right there. And then we have the div tag for the row. And then we have a div tag for the second row, which should not be there. So we have a div tag out of place. That div tag should be right after the column div tag for your paragraph text. The how may we help you? So I'm just going to retap that div tag up there and erase one from the bottom. So then we have that div tag, and this div tag should be for the background around all of it, the contact background. Hit refresh, file, save all. Let's look at split view. Well, there's everything. We can see we need to do a little bit of editing here. So I'm going to go back to code view because each one line of the contact form should be separate from the other. So there's our name. There's the input tag for the name. I'm going to do a line break. And there's that input tag. It needs a line break. That input tag has a line break. And preferred method of contact, that is all supposed to be on the same line, right? Yes. And there's our check boxes. Those are fine. My label for comments has a break. And there's my text area. There's my line break. So this should look better now. Yes, that puts everything on individual lines the way it's supposed to be. Except for my preferred method of contact. I don't have a line break there. No, I don't. But I do have a paragraph tag, and that is what's bumping this down. There it is. That's the way it's supposed to be. So just get rid of those paragraph tags, and it'll bump it all to the right line. So we're getting there. So we have all of our code. All of our elements are where they're supposed to be as far as stacked on top of each other. Now we need to format them. So we're going to go into our CSS styles. Let's go back to our source code for just a second. Let's take some notes. You're going to need these when you start your CSS code, so you don't have to jump back and forth. It's easier just to write them down. Let's see. We have our contact background. We need a rule for that. That's where our image is going, right? And then we have column medium 1. All of those should be fine because we already have those rules made. Our form ID, make note of that. The ID for the form is contact. Everything else should be fine. Let's go to our styles. Go into code view so you guys can see everything. I'm going to go down to the bottom of my mobile CSS, right before your tablet view. There it is. Put my cursor on line 220. And I need a contact background. Hit my enter key, and this is where we're going to set the background. And we want to set an image. So we're going to go background, and then we're going to go image. And we need to save our actual image over here. So we're going to go in, and you're going to open up that Photoshop file. Go into your start files. Find that GS248 start file. Go into your mockups. The majority of you did your PSD mockup. And you did the mockup of the contact page. You're going to open it. And you're going to save that image that's in there. Those of you that did not do the contact page, you are going to go into your lawn care site images folder, and you're going to open up the contact background image. Let's let Photoshop get open here for a second. While we're waiting on that, we need to correct my CSS rule. It should say background dash image. And then we'll finish typing the rest of it once Photoshop gets open so we can save that image so we can find it. Come on. Those of you that did not mock up the contact page, your image is going to open just like this. Pull my Photoshop over so you can see it all. Here we go. Back to the image. Those of you that didn't mock up the contact page, you will have to do it this way. You're going to open your image. You're going to come over to your layers panel and double click where it says background. Hit your enter key so it renames it layer 0. And then on opacity, you're going to turn it down. Your wireframe tells you that the opacity, the transparency, should be set at, go back to the desktop view here, 20%. So you're going to take the opacity in your layers panel and set it at 20%. It's going to look like this. You're simply going to go to File, Save As. Sorry guys, I have the little circle rainbow. Here we go. And you're going to save it as a JPG or a PNG, whichever you want to use. I'm going to do JPG. You're going to go into your site root folder, into your images folder, and you're simply going to hit save. You're going to hit OK. Now, those of you that did the mock-up, there are two different ways that you can go about getting this image out. You can click on it. It's going to highlight it in your layers panel for you. There it is. And you can go to File, go to Generate, and choose Image Assets. Look in your Finder. Did not copy the file name. It may not have copied the file name. Let's show it didn't. Okay, so you're going to need to re-click on that layer so you can rename it. You're going to erase the copy if it's there. And after contact dash background, you're going to do .jpg. Hit your enter key and go to File, go to Save, and then go to File, X Generate, make sure Image Assets is marked. And then if you look in your Finder, inside the same folder where your PSD was saved, you will see a new Assets folder. In there is the background picture for you. The other way you can do it is to make sure the file is saved as a PSD. Mine is saved as a Photoshop, as a PDF with Photoshop capability. So give me just a second, I'll resave this. Come on. Dreamweaver and Photoshop work really slowly together, guys. Almost there. 84%. Let's go. $97%. $98. File. Come on. $99. Come on. There we go. Now, make sure it's saved as a PSD. Save, hit OK. No, we get it. Oh, that was quick. And I'm going to close down Photoshop so the Dreamweaver doesn't start acting funny. And go back to Dreamweaver. Now, those of you that did it the first two ways I showed you, in your CSS code, after you've done background dash image, you're going to type URL. Hit your enter key. Hit browse. If you did it the first way, you can look in your site root image folder and just grab the picture. If you did it the second way, you're going to need to go to your assets folder. That is in the same folder where your mockup was saved, and get the image from there, and it will copy it to your site root folder for you. And then there's the third way to extract that image. I'm going to go ahead and put this in there the first way, and then I'll show you how to extract the image. Okay, for those of you that want to do it the third way, using the extract tool, you can go to Windows and click on extract, and it will open this extract panel. This panel takes a little bit to load, so be prepared. You may have to wait a few seconds. Welcome, extract is loading. You're going to click on the upload PSD. And you're going to navigate to, whoops. Come on. I think I lost my little box. Let's see if it's back here. Oh, not back here. Let's try this again. Upload. I'm going to pull that extract out so it doesn't close on us. Come on. This is why I don't use the extract tool. Come on. Upload PSD. Come on. When you hit upload PSD, it opens up your little box. We had it for a second, and then it decided it didn't want to give it back to me. It's not hiding anywhere. Come on. Let's see if it'll let me get to it this way. I have a desktop folder on here by chance. Ooh. Okay, guys, well, maybe yours is working. It's kind of self-explanatory. Once you open that PSD, you're going to get a screen that looks just like this. It's going to show your PSD in it. You're going to click on that background image in the contact form, and then you're going to click this little extract asset button. And it will download that image into your images folder. And then you just go back to your CSS and you do the background image URL and find that image, just like I did. Don't forget your semicolon. File, save all. Oops, I forgot my quotations. Quotations. There we are. So now Look at split. Looky there. There's our picture. So we're getting there, right? So let's look at our wireframe and see what else we need to do. Page 3, our cell phone. Everything should be spaced out quite a bit here. How may we help you? And then our paragraph. Let's go back here. How may we help you? Our paragraphs. I'm going to go back to my source code and find the how may we help you. Here we are. I'm going to add a line break. It's better. I think I would like a line break at the beginning of it too, like that. That's better. And then after the paragraph, I need a line break. Let's look at our wireframe again. We're out of order, aren't we? We are. Phone should be in that bottom div tag. So let's edit our code real quick. This row, click on it. Where's that bottom row? There it is down there. Then go to the next div tag, your column, for your phone number and your hours. Cut it. Click on that next div tag, that's the column. Find the closing div tag for it, hit your enter key, and paste. Refresh, split. There we go, that's better. Now we need to set some rules for our label and the rest of it. So let's start with our contact form. Let's look at our wireframe. Definitely need some blank space, which we got, but this needs to be spread out a little bit. So we're going to go into our CSS styles. And right here after your background role, you're going to hit your enter key and you're going to type the word label. And we're going to go width 100 pixels. And we are going to do padding bottom 10 pixels. See what we get. File, save all. We didn't get anything. So let's try going pound contact table. Save a little bit. Let's up this to 20. Still not quite enough. How about 50? We're not moving anymore. Let's look at our source code again. Let's see if we've got something on here that we shouldn't. Label. Did I misspell label? And it's contact. Contact label with 100, padding 50 pixels. But nothing is happening there. Let's see if we go line height. That's better. Still not quite enough. Let's double space all of that. We'll go 200%. That's better. And our width, let's change it to 200 pixels. I'm going to change this to min width. Race width. And then Yeah, no, it wasn't even quite that big. Let's take it back to, what do we do for %? I want to make sure it's responsive and doesn't have any issues there. I could make it 20%. And then we're going to go display, block, inline block. How about that? Inline block. There we go. Let's pull this back down to 10%. 12%. 12% is pretty good. Let's try 13. 13 is better, I think. We might even go 15. I think I like 15. Now our boxes seem awful small, don't they? So, and if you see, if I click on that on my artboard in split view, it brings me down here to this max length, and it gives me a size. What if I type 100 in that size? Too big. What about 75? So too big. 50? Almost. 60. Looks like 60 will do it. So I'm going to click on the next one. 60. And 60. That works. And I'm going to mark some of these required. I'm going to click on that name input box, and down here in the properties panel, I'm going to click require. Email, required. Phone, required. Preferred method of contact. Oh, I don't want to check it. I just want to click on it. Required. And this one, not. I don't want to make them required because that would mean they had to check it. I just want them to have to choose one. I'm going to do autofocus. Autofocus. Like that. Our submit buttons are a little close together. So we look at that CSS code for our submit buttons. Pull down here. Questions. We have an ID of reset, an ID of submit. I'm going to go into my CSS, into code view. My cursor after that bracket into pound, submit, curly brackets, and padding right, show me pixels. Not padding, let's do margin. Margin right, 20 pixels. Let's spread it out a little bit. I'm going to spread it out a little bit more. Let's try 25 pixels. That's better. And I could make those buttons bigger if I wanted to. I could go white. Let's say 50 pixels. I think they're already probably 50 pixels. What if I did 10%? I want min height. There it is. Pixels. Come on, change it. Title value, index, contact, form actions, post. We may have to actually do this as a button. Let's look at our code. There it is. Input name, submit, type, submit, ID, submit, contact. Nope, it should be resizing it just by our input tag. It's not. What if I do the width? There it goes. 50 was just too small. So if I did, oops, 70. I could make those buttons just a little bit bigger. Now, height. But it won't let me do the height. Well, it might. 70, 90. No. It will let me set the width. I'm going to do the same thing to the reset. I'm going to go reset. Curly brackets, width. How many pixels? Like that. And I am going to add a margin bottom. 25 pixels. And bump that phone number down like that. So far, so good. Save it all. Source code. Now, according to my wireframe, we should have phone, office hours, and then a large break, and then the phone number and stuff. So these are all, two plus column, these are all H3s. Got phone number, got line break, office hours, I'm going to add 4 line breaks after that. And then we get our office hours. And then after hours emergency. I'm going to add 2 line breaks after that to give us a little white space there. Now then, we need to go up and go to our CSS styles, and we need to take a look at something. Let's go into code. And let's find our dot row rule. If we have one. I can't remember if there's one here or not. No dot row rule. So let's look at our info box TAM. We need to copy this padding. Just highlight it, copy it. And then we are going to go down. We are going to paste that in the background. Like that. And save it. Split. And you see what's happened here. So let's take a look and see what needs to be fixed. Well, it looks like our boxes are a little too big. So I'm going to select that. Column 70, let's bring it down to 60. That's better. I bet you we could push it to 65. Yeah, we could push it to 65. And then I'm going to do my input boxes the same way. 55. Not quite. $56. We'll do it. Until there's cell phone view, guys. There it is. Yes, Sean, I was adjusting the submit button. I wanted it to be a little bit wider. It looked a little too small to me. So I edited it to make the width a little bigger. Okay, so that is cell phone size. Let's take a look at tablet view. Well, we've got some issues, don't we? Let's go in and look at our wireframe. Should look like this. Those boxes should be side by side. So it should be 50-50. Let's go to our contact form. Go over here to your CSS designer if you need to. And find your contact rule. There's the contact label. Contact background. Point to code view. For right now, it is yes. We're going to fix it. We don't actually have a pound contact rule, so we're going to have to make that in our tablet view. I'm going to go down right before desktop view. Right before that last bracket, put my cursor between those two brackets and do pound contact brackets. Let's take a look at split view so we can watch what happens. And I want to set the width. And let's try 90%. Float left. 90% doesn't look quite small enough. So let's try 80. Now, we're getting better here, but our boxes are still too wide. When we set the size on those, remember? We set the size to 56. If we erased that size in every one of them, it would bring it down to the size we needed it and make everything fit proportionally. But the problem is, that looks funny, doesn't it? And that looks funny, which means we have to write CSS for that. And if you look in tablet view, everything should be here. This should be smaller. This is more than 50%, isn't it? I'm going to undo all of this. Our contact form is actually more than 50% of the screen. But the code we wrote says that it is in a column medium 1/2. So let's go down and look at this. Here it is. Here's our column. So we need to change this. I'm going to erase all of it except for the column rule. And then I'm going to do column form. And I'm going to go down to the preferred method of contact, requested hours. That's what we're looking for, hours. This one says column medium 1/2 large 2. I'm going to erase everything but COL and add a COL hours. And then go into my CSS style sheet. And down here under tablet view, we are going to do a dot COL form. And we're going to do width. And I would say it's probably, what do you guys think? It's more than 50%. About 60%, somewhere around in there. 60%. Float left. Like that. We look at our wireframe here. Office hours 8 a.m., 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. That's looking better. Now we need that background rule. So we're going to do dot column. Actually, it's dot contact background. Do height. And let's see what 500 pixels does to it. Not enough. 700 pixels. That's pretty good. A little too much, I think. Let's try 675. That's better. 675 pixels. Now we're looking pretty good all of a sudden, aren't we? We need to make our dot column hours. And we're going to float it right. Where did we go with it? It came down. We need to make a width. Width. 30%. Not too bad, but this text is a little too off, isn't it? So what if we did 40%? That's better. Let's try 35%. No, too small. 37. That's better. I'm going to leave it at 37%. Now, you're going to notice that on your wireframe, it shows this 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. text is smaller and the phone number is smaller. But on your copy text, which is what you're supposed to be following for tags, it tells you that all of that needs to be in H3. So it should all be the same size, guys. Now, if you want to go in and customize that and make it smaller, go for it, but you do not have to. So there is the contact form in Tablet view. Let's bring it on out to desktop view and see what we have. Right in desktop view. We've got an issue with our image, don't we? We weren't having that issue until desktop view. So let's go down to desktop view, go to the bottom of it. Put your cursor before that last bracket. And we need to do the dot contact background. Background repeat to no repeat. And it's not layout, it's not, it's content. Content, actually, let's see, what is that rule called? Background size, that's what I was looking for. Background, oops, size, and it should say, is it contain. And it will stretch that image for you so that it looks the way it's supposed to look. So there are all 3 sizes. Now, next week is when you have to do the PHP, right? Oh, no, it tells you to update the formal PHP, which you can download from the classroom. Here's the thing, guys. Next week, you have to upload to Muse. Muse will not allow an independent PHP form to operate on their website anymore, which means unless that PHP form was done in something like Muse, you cannot use it. It won't work. Unless, of course, you purchase a site hosting on Business Catalyst. But when you're just uploading to the temporary free hosting, you cannot use a independent PHP form. So those of you watching those lectures, guess what? You don't have to do that part. You can forget about the PHP form altogether. You don't even have to mess with it because it's not going to work when you upload it next week. So all you have to do is the coding for me, the CSS and the HTML. Make your contact page look right. Any questions? No questions, guys? Okay, then guys, this part of the lecture is over. And if you have any trouble, as I said yesterday, you can come see me in the SSC on Thursday or Friday, or you can email me your files and I will take a look at them and then tell you what you need to do to fix them. Okay, Brittany, I am going to stop sharing. If you can share your screen with me, we'll take a look at what you have. Well, first of all, you have an HTML error. Go to File and go to Save All and see if it's just something that you accidentally created and it's really not there. It's really there. Hover over the number 46 and let's see what your error says. Div UL SP list items. Line 42, that class name still says InfoBox 10. What's it supposed to say? It's supposed to say SP-InfoBox 10. Click on Code View, please, so I can see where your error is. At the top of your screen, click on Code. Go up and click on line 40 in your row div tag. Yep, Sean, this week is a little more than you've done the past couple of weeks. That's why I wanted you guys, this was going to be the big week. Line 40, Brittany, where it says div class equals row. There's that one. Go down and click on the next div tag that says div class equals column. There's that one. Go down and click on the div class SP info box 10. That looks fine. Your H2 is fine. Paragraph is fine. Click on your next div tag. This is SP column. That one looks fine. UL. Oh, no, there it is. Class is missing the equal sign after it. Go to File, go to Save All. Okay, well, that did it for that number, but number 56 is still up. Go down to line 56. And you see where it says class SP link? Class needs a space before it. Go to File, go to Save All. That did that. Okay, now let's take a look at your style.css. Oops, go back to your source code. You've got something wrong here. Scroll up. Nope, you don't. Click on styles.css. It does say ID. I thought it said class. Okay, now find your SP info box 10 rule. Should be at the very top in your first set of, that is for your text, but you're missing the SP dash info box dash 10 rule. You need to copy your info box 10 rule. Go up and find your info box 10. Right there. Highlight it all and copy it. Okay, Sean, I'll see you Thursday. Copy that bracket too, Brittany. No, not the H2, just to that bracket right there. Copy it. And then go down and paste it. No, too far. It needs to be on like line 147. Paste it right there. And in front of that period, or after that period, in front of info, add SP dash. Go to file, go to save all. Now look at split view. Go to source code. There it is. Now you need to make that text white. So go back to your CSS, your style, and find that SP info box and see where it says color. Make it white instead of black, which is pound FFFFF instead of 000. One more F. There you go. Hit your enter. There you go. And now you just need to go through there and add the rest of the CSS rules that I had in the lecture. You're still missing some. Okay, Brittany, I'll see you later. Okay, guys, have a good evening. I will see you on Thursday if you need me, or I will talk to you through email.